Have you ever had a moment where the weight of your entire life seemed to balance on a single conversation? Where the words that left your mouth changed everything? That's exactly what happened to Mark Collins, a dedicated single father struggling to balance his career and raising his daughter alone after tragedy struck. If this story touches your heart, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories that remind us of our shared humanity. The corporate headquarters of Meridian Technologies towered over the city skyline, a gleaming monument to success and ambition. Inside, on the 42nd floor, Mark Collins sat across from CEO Katherine Winters, his hands trembling slightly as he clutched his worn leather portfolio. Katherine's steel-gray suit matched her eyes, which regarded him with a mixture of curiosity and impatience. "Still upset with me?" she asked, one perfectly manicured eyebrow raised. The question hung in the air between them, heavy with 3 months of tension and unspoken words. Mark hadn't planned on being a single father. 4 years ago, his wife Emma had kissed him goodbye one ordinary Tuesday morning and never came home, her car crushed beyond recognition on the highway. Their daughter Lily had been just 3 years old, too young to understand why mommy wasn't coming back, but old enough to feel the crushing absence in their home. He'd thrown himself into his work at Meridian Technologies, climbing from mid-level manager to director of operations within 2 years. Katherine had been his mentor, pushing him harder than anyone else, seeing potential in him that he hadn't recognized in himself. Under her guidance, he'd excelled professionally while somehow managing to be there for Lily's bedtime stories most nights. Then came the Beijing project. 3 months ago, Katherine had called him into her office on a Friday afternoon. "I need someone I trust to oversee the Beijing expansion," she'd said, sliding a folder across her immaculate desk. 6 months minimum. The board is watching this one closely. It could make or break our Asian market strategy. Mark had stared at the folder, not touching it. "I can't go to Beijing for 6 months, Katherine. Lily. Bring her with you. We'll arrange international schooling, housing, everything. She's 7. She's finally adjusted to life without her mother. She has friends, routines, her therapist. I can't uproot her." Katherine's expression had hardened. "This is the opportunity of a lifetime, Mark. The kind that creates career trajectories people dream about. I understand that. But I'm all she has." The memory of Katherine's face that day still burned in his mind. The disappointment. The flash of anger quickly masked. "I thought you were committed to this company. To your future." "I am committed," he'd answered. "But I'm a father first." She'd assigned the Beijing project to Ryan Matthews, Mark's colleague. A man with fewer qualifications but no children. No complications. In the 3 months since, Katherine had been professional but distant. Their once strong mentorship had cooled to strictly necessary interactions. Mark had watched as Ryan received accolades for the Beijing project's early successes, trying not to feel the sting of opportunity lost. Now, sitting across from her with the quarterly operations report, her question, "Still upset with me?" caught him off guard. It wasn't what he'd expected. Mark looked at the CEO, really looked at her. Behind the polished exterior and power suits, he saw something new. Uncertainty. Perhaps even regret. "I was never upset with you, Katherine," he said quietly. "I was disappointed in myself for not being able to be everything to everyone. For having to choose." Katherine's expression shifted subtly. "And you chose your daughter. Every time. Without hesitation." Mark leaned forward. "But that doesn't mean I don't regret not being able to prove myself to you with the Beijing project." Katherine was silent for a long moment, studying him. Then she stood and walked to the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. "My father was the CEO of a manufacturing company when I was growing up," she said, her back to him. "He never missed a board meeting or a client dinner. But he missed every single one of my birthdays from age 7 to 18. Mark waited, sensing there was more. When I took this position, I swore I'd build a different kind of company. One that valued excellence but recognized humanity. She turned to face him. And then I asked you to choose between your daughter and your career. I became my father. Mark stood, approaching her carefully. You were doing your job. No, Katherine shook her head. I was perpetuating a cycle. Ryan is brilliant, but the Beijing team is struggling with his leadership style. They need someone who understands people, not just profit margins. Mark's heart raced. What are you saying? I'm saying I made a mistake. I'm saying I'd like to restructure the Beijing project. 2-week rotations. Video conferencing. A team approach that allows you to lead without relocating. Mark felt a weight lifting from his shoulders. You'd do that? I should have done it 3 months ago. Katherine's professional mask slipped further. My father died last year. Do you know what I remember about him? His absences. The empty chair at my graduation. The birthdays spent with nannies. Is that what you want Lily to remember about you? The question struck him like a physical blow. No. Never. Your answer 3 months ago, choosing your daughter, it's been haunting me. Making me question the culture I've created here. Katherine's voice grew softer. My father left me his company, but not a single real memory of being loved. What good is a legacy like that? Mark thought of Lily, her small face lighting up when he walked through the door each evening, how she still crawled into his lap despite declaring herself practically grown up at 7. How she kept her mother's photo by her bed and sometimes asked questions that broke his heart and healed it simultaneously. Lily is my legacy, he said simply. Everything else is just a job. Katherine's eyes glistened with unexpected emotion. That's what left me speechless that day in my office. Your certainty. Your clarity about what matters. She returned to her desk, sitting with newfound vulnerability. My entire career, I've measured success in profit margins and market share. But when you walked out of that meeting, choosing your daughter without hesitation, I realized I've been using the wrong metrics. Over the next hour, they redesigned the Beijing project together. Mark would oversee operations remotely, traveling for 1 week per month. Katherine committed to creating more flexible policies for parents company-wide, acknowledging that talent shouldn't be wasted because of outdated expectations about constant physical presence. When Mark left her office that afternoon, something fundamental had shifted between them. Not just professionally, but in their understanding of each other as human beings navigating complicated lives with difficult choices. That evening, as Mark pushed Lily on the swing at their neighborhood park, her laughter carrying on the breeze, he received a text from Katherine. Thank you for reminding me what truly matters. Some leaders learn from success. The best ones learn from the wisdom of those brave enough to choose differently. 6 months later, Meridian Technologies launched a revolutionary flexible work program for parents. The Beijing project exceeded all expectations under Mark's leadership model. At the company gala celebrating their most successful year to date, Katherine called Mark to the stage. Success isn't just measured in quarterly reports, she told the assembled crowd. It's measured in the lives we touch, the culture we create, and the future we build, not just for our shareholders, but for our children. Mark caught her eye across the ballroom, Lily beside him in her first formal dress, beaming with pride for her father. Katherine raised her glass in their direction, a silent acknowledgement of the lesson that had changed them both. Sometimes the most powerful answer isn't about being right or winning an argument. Sometimes, like Mark discovered, it's about standing firmly in your truth, even when it costs you. Because the things that truly matter, the love of a child, the integrity of your choices, those are the wealth that no corner office or prestigious project can ever replace. As Katherine had learned from the single father who had once disappointed her but ultimately taught her the most valuable lesson of her career, true leadership isn't about never making mistakes. It's about having the courage to recognize them, the humility to change course, and the wisdom to create spaces where people don't have to choose between being excellent at their jobs and excellent at being human. If this story touched your heart or reminded you of your own choices between career and family, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Share your thoughts in the comments below about a time when you had to make a difficult choice between professional success and personal values. Remember, in the story of your life, you are both the author and the main character. Choose your priorities wisely.